All right.
Hey.
We're live and alive.
Back again.
Back for webinar number 2. Explain everything. Collaborative whiteboard, interactive whiteboard, and other things. We've set the microphone on bi-directional mode. So now you should be able to hear both Sam and I with equal clarity. On the events page, you should be able to see, we'll be able to see your questions. Oh, well, right now we don't have anybody tuned in, so, but that's okay. You know why? Because in the archive, it'll be visible. Let me just do one more tweet, and that way we can get people in here. So sorry if you're watching the archive and all you're watching is Sam and I tweeting. Sam, why don't you can talk to everyone while I'm pulling this up here.
Yeah, we'll check in and make sure that everyone's able to join, that there's no comments or issues. I know last time there was a couple, but we'll just check on everyone and then we'll go ahead and get started.
I seem to have lost my Safari window, which is oh, here we go. This is what I wanted. View on Google. Okay, here we go. Oh, this might break. Oh, if I hit start. Oh, hey, Roger's there. Hey, Roger. All right, so I think he can hear us. I'm just going to do one more tweet. I guess some people might just be watching from the YouTube page, I realize, because I don't think it will track the number of viewers. I just tweeted the YouTube link, which means you don't have to sign in. Live now, the demo. And there's the link.
Cool. So we're just tweeting that out?
Tweeting it out. I'm going to tweet it from the Explain Everything channel now. Let me just retweet that. Extra coverage. Some people might. I've tweeted like 10 times about it in the last 5 minutes, so that might be annoying. Apologies for that. All right, I'll keep this window open. Oh, now I've got the window open twice. Let me close this one. All right, so people are tweeting and retweeting.
Sound quality says it's good. Okay.
Oh, very nice. All right. Oh, so you can actually maybe let me make this window smaller, and this way. I just want to make sure. Last time we were really ignoring the. Well, actually, I didn't know that the comments were showing up there, but now we will. Okay, thanks, Roger. Thank you for confirming. All right, so this week we said last week we talked about just using Explain Everything in a live instructional or feedback setting. Today we're going to talk a little bit about video-based instruction and feedback, so creating asynchronous materials, whether it's for instruction or remediation, supplemental learning materials, or to do feedback. So giving individual or peer feedback without necessarily needing to be in the same room, but while also having the kind of human quality of voice and movement, things that would get lost if it was just a static artifact. So let me launch Collaborative Whiteboard. And just for those who are tuned in, maybe I'll make it a live session. So if anybody wants to mess with what I'm doing, you can do that too. I have no problem with that.
Hi, Patty.
Oh, hey, Patty. How are you? So I'm going to create a blank project. And if you have Explain Everything Collaborative Whiteboard, I'm going to project a share code that if you enter it on the collaboration screen or on the join screen, you should be able to enter this project. Let me just write hi here so you know you're in the right spot. And so anybody can join. This is EE Demo 2. Allow editing, save project, fine. I'm going to hit start, and it's IZ50JH. If you would like to join in this live whiteboarding session. So it doesn't matter if you're in New York or in Hawaii, like Patty, or.
Do you want to share your screen so we can?
They can't see that. I'm sorry. Thanks, Sam.
Cool.
Yeah, I forget these things. Okay, screen share. I'm going to switch to my iPad. Okay, share screen. Oh, here it is.
I think it was IZ50JH for everyone who's trying to join in.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. I forgot I didn't share my screen before. So I'll walk through the process that I got to this point again. So if you open up a project and click on the little exclamation mark, you can do the join button and enter that code in there. So we got a couple of people joining, and I'll leave this up for a minute. Actually, maybe Sam, you can write in the code on the stage somewhere. Letter I, maybe add the serifs or the, there you go. IZ50JH. Yeah, maybe I's and zeros and stuff we should remove, right?
I think so.
Yeah, this is like those CAPTCHA phrases where it's like impossible to know what you're reading. Is
There's
it two
join
N's
code.
together or is it an M? Okay, so yeah, we'll keep that projected.
How these can join code if they're not
They can still join.
on your screen.
If they're watching.
If they're watching, they can click on this exclamation and then tap join and then enter this little passphrase. I'm actually going to minimize the view. I think it's still legible over there. Okay, so let's talk about the recording and making materials. So, something funny might happen when I do this. That's okay, because I've got, again, a lot of USB cables connected and multiple microphone inputs happening, but I think it'll be all right. So imagine this was a blank slate. We're going to ignore this quadrant just because I want to leave it visible for those who want to join. Actually, I'm going to move it to the bottom corner. Sorry, that must have been annoying. All right, so I'm going to put myself in my middle school math teacher hat. We've just talked about solving for a single variable, and I want to create a material that I can post on my learning management system course site for students to review, look at when they're working on a problem set that, you know, I want them just to understand and recognize the patterns of working with variables and numbers. So, you know, it's not necessarily the most exciting example, but this is a very specific task in pattern recognition and building up their ability to think algebraically and understand, you know, substitutive values and things like that. So I might hit the record button and I'm recording, and everybody else who's in the project, if you can actually contribute too, but that might be destructive. So maybe don't contribute. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So I'm the teacher. All right. We'll ignore these first 14 seconds. All right, class. We talked about solving for a single variable. So I'm going to show a problem style that we had done in class yesterday. So you might see an equation like this, and many of you looking at this can kind of reverse engineer this to figure out a value of x that would make this, in fact, a true equation, a true problem. But the steps that you're doing, it's important to be able to articulate them. So when you've got a balanced equation like this, you're saying what's on the left side is equivalent to the right side. And the way we talked about what you can do is when you've got things that are the same, like numbers, you can remove them from both sides of the equations in equal quantities. So I can subtract 3 from both sides of the equation and it will remain balanced. So that means 3 x's must weigh the same or be equivalent to, I'm speaking in pan balance terms, I just realized, equal to 12. But now I don't have anything equivalent to subtract from each side. So I do know that 3 x's is the same as 12. So if 3 of something equals 12, the way I could figure out what one of them would be, in this case, would be to divide by 3. And now I would say x equals 4. And just to double check, I might plug 4 back into here and say, all right, if I had 3 4s, or 3 times 4, is that 12? Yes, it is. And is 12 plus 3 15? 12, 13, 14, 15? Yes, it is. So that's just one way. I wanted to keep recording. I just hit record again. So I'm actually appending my recording now. This is just one way to think about solving for a single variable. And over the next few weeks, we'll be learning more. So I just made, not the most elegant or eloquent 2-minute video, but a video that talks about this concept. It's my voice, it's my style, the way that I would go about it. And I'm scrubbing through here. I realize when I'm collaborating it, scrubbing all of you as well. So let me go back to the end. And this is a 2-minute recording that I've just made that I can now, I'm going to end the collaboration. So I'm actually going to export this. I want to show publishing it to the portal.
Right.
So I'm going to say, okay.
And what I could do here too is if I was a student and Reshan just did that example for all of us, we could all take that and save it a local copy on our devices or save it to our storage facility as well.
Yeah, that's correct, because
we did it in collaboration.
Yeah, we did. Oh, Becky, sorry, we're slow here. I'm gonna start another collaborative session in a couple of minutes. For now, you can just watch the screen, and then I'll set up another one because that was probably confusing if you just chimed in here. So right now, I've created a short 2-minute instructional video to support what I was doing in real class. I'm gonna actually send this to the portal, which is Explain Everything Discover. I could send it as a video file to a variety of different places, but I just wanted to model this workflow because it's very convenient. We're going to call this solving, I want capital S, solving for a single variable. Yes, autocorrect image. Just one of many ways to go about this. And it says public, that's fine. I might have a class like my middle school math class. I want to put it in their folder so they'd actually be able to see it. And I could add tags and stuff like that. For this case, I will not. And I'm going to say publish. So just like that, from this project with Explain Everything Discover will be visible at this link right away. And it'll get compressed or converted into a movie file or give me an embed code if it's something that I needed. So I'm going to say copy link here.
Yeah, and what's nice about this, Reshan, is that you can access this via browser or within the app. So, if your students are on a desktop and they just want to look at the video that you've created, they can access via the desktop. So, cool. Another new function compared to interactive.
Yeah, and we think that this kind of 1 or 2 tap sharing is going to be really useful for people, especially when you don't have the time to wait for a movie to render. That you can set it to the cloud. You'll have the link, and anybody can view it immediately.
Right.
So let me go back to my screen here. So what I've done is I've just gone to. Sorry, you see, I was looking at an article on CNN. It said bloody repression. So yeah, the world is a frightening place. So right now. The movie file is actually showing. It must be still exporting, I guess. Yeah. Well, the video will be available here in a minute.
Right.
Or so, I think. Let me.
And so you could search for that the code that's generated when you exported it. That's searchable within the app, as Reshan said. So each project once created, if you add it as unlisted, each project will have a unique code that can be searched for. So
yeah, or even a publicly viewable video will have a code. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, well, we'll come back and check on that. I wonder what happened there. Okay, so let me go back to collaborative whiteboard. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up another collaborative session, a new one. So for those who are following along, I can start a collaborative session a bunch of ways. I can open an existing project and hit the collaborate button, or this menu here. On some networks, you can actually see projects that are being broadcast for collaboration within your local network if that's something that's allowed, or you can enter a join code. But I'm actually going to create, I'll just start with a blank one this time. And we'll say this is demo 2.1, so you know you're in the right thing, and I'll hit start. The join code this time, all right, less mystifying things here, FGYZ52. So a couple of ways to enter this. You can go to the collaboration menu and enter it in the top right, or if you open up any project or create a blank project, you can click this join tab and enter it in there. So I'll leave this open for a minute, give people a chance to join.
And I will add the join code once I enter the collaboration session. So anyone who is coming in a little bit late will be able to see it and join in, say, halfway through the demo.
Thanks, Sam.
All right.
FGYZ52. Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, oh, should we do a thing that, like, if this menu is closed, that somewhere... Oh, no, because how would you see it? You would have to have some other way. But if you're projecting it on the screen,
right?
Would you, if you were the host, you can have like a join code,
right? You can write on the
overlay
whiteboard
or something. Yeah.
or have someone have it overlaying something like
Yeah,
that.
or we get a student just like you to do that. All right, cool. So I'll leave the code there. We've got Sam who's joined here, and if anybody else wants to join, that's great. Oops, I just moved the bottom part of something over here. Let's figure that out. Okay, good. There we go. All right, so that was the last example was working from scratch. Now let's imagine I actually had some materials already made before that I want to create some instructional content over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a file, and I've got all of these cloud sources or destinations available. I'm going to go into my Dropbox, and I'm just going to go into this test import screen. And I've got all sorts of stuff, but I'm going to grab this here. So many people don't know this. I was a music major undergrad, so I got these random musical scores saved in my Dropbox. I'm just going to import 2 of the pages. I could bring in the whole thing. But imagine this was a slide deck or a document or a handout or some other thing that you wanted to make instructional content over. So that actually just imported and it put it on the 2nd and 3rd slide. So here they are. I can zoom in to a specific point, and now I'm going to hit record, and I might have something interesting to say about this piece that I want my students to know about. Hello, class. This is the 2nd movement of Beethoven's piano sonatas number 57. And it's one of my favorite pieces. And you can see there's this very deliberate opening with the 3 quarter notes to start. And then he changes the rhythm and the texture to create a little bit more urgency. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. And then there's this kind of playful run along the bass line. And then the whole thing repeats again, which actually follows the traditional sonata allegro form when composing. So as you're looking through the rest of this piece in your homework, I want you to apply a similar analysis to whatever else you find interesting in this wonderful piece of music.
And then if I were a student, say, I could go home and take this piece that had just been created by Reshan, or this homework assignment that had been created, and I could ask my own questions, right? So I have a question about what this means. So why is this? Why are these notes placed in this way in this piece? Something like that. I don't know. I don't know too much about music like Reshan does, but I could go home and make my own version of what he had created. So continue working on a project or manipulate a project in any way that I feel.
Yeah, and in fact, like if I shared this project on Discover, you'd be able to download it and add on to what I'd already created.
Right.
And it would be your own isolated or your own discrete version of it. So it's the session that's collaborative right now. The document itself, when it's shared on Discover, people would be pulling or creating their own separate copy. I realized by going to this slide, I dropped the join code from people who might have been trying to use that. So I'm going to do a little bit of a copy and paste over here. So now let's just talk a little bit more about the video production side of things. So I've just made the examples so far, just kind of these loose recordings. And actually, it's okay. I'm going to kill the collaboration because I want to go into more like the kind of single person editing mode. So you'll enjoy your copy there. Fine. So I close the collaboration. So I've got this 1:03 clip. Here's the timeline that I'm scrubbing through. And I can do some things here. If there was some moments where I was not happy about what I said for a moment, I can do something called start selection. And if I didn't like that phrasing in the timeline, I could do delete or delete and compact or just cancel what I was doing because maybe my dog started barking in the background and I just want to get rid of that. I can say delete. I could actually now re-record just this part. So when I hit record, you were reminding me of this. I'm going to change the record mode from something which is overwrite, which is the default, into mix mode. What this means is when I hit record, it's basically going to add a layer, but not override or drop everything that happens afterwards. So I can do these kind of jump cuts in the middle. So now let's try this again. When I hit record, I was talking about some interesting things here, and now let's go down here. So in the timeline, you'll see this kind of dual layer piece here. I've just added an additional piece of recording on top of what was there before, but then anything else that happened later still remains. So I don't have to redo all of the whole recording. I can just come in from part of it.
And what's really nice about that mix mode is for people like me who don't like to talk, and Reshan likes to talk and create the videos at the same time. For me, I like to create the video and then talk over it. So maybe create a script or something like that. And so I can create a video and then go back and put it into mix mode and scrub my voice over the video that had already been created.
Oh yeah, that's
a nice way to use the mix mode as well.
Great point. So let's do this. So I'm gonna duplicate. I've just made 3 circles, and it might be too complicated for me to talk about an exercise, explaining why one of these is, how to organize them by size in a horizontal line. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to record and just animate the objects. So that was nice and quiet. Now while I'm in this mix mode, I can hit record again. Hit rewind, and I'm going to press record again. And I'm going to talk. First, we're going to move the red ball down there, and then the middle one, and then the right one. And now they're in a nice progression from biggest to smallest. So I can break up the kind of cognitive processes of the animation and the narration using this mixed recording mode. So just a reminder where that you get that, press and hold the record button, and you can toggle between those 2 things. All right, let's see. I'm going to switch back to us so we can make sure we don't forget that there are human beings behind what you're seeing, and then we'll jump into another example. Hope you're able to follow along so far. So we just did 2 examples of instruction using video. So one was starting off a blank slate, scratch, making a quick artifact. The second one was bringing in pre-existing materials and talking through them. A third variation, so those are more kind of instructional delivery and doing that asynchronously, but I think there's real power in being able to give feedback in this way. So what I'm going to model, and I'll open up a collaboration again so that people can join in. And actually, we can do this as like a collaborative critique. Sam has been very generous. He's donated one of his graduate school papers for us to review and give him feedback. So I'm going to discard this. There wasn't that many things I was excited about. And
we'll say it's open source from now on.
Yeah, probably. You've contributed to the public domain. Yeah. We'll bring in just 1 page. So let me, I always like this blueprint style thing. And we're going to do student feedback. Is it going to autocorrect? Yes, did. Student feedback. And I'm going to let other people join in the fun here. So yeah, here we go again. Letter O, S3MK.
Great, so I'm going to try to join here. So I'm on the join screen.
Oh, you can't see my screen again.
So
I always forget doing this. Let me share my screen again.
Let's see here.
There you are. Sorry, I keep forgetting. The join code is OOS3MK.
So I am joining in. We'll see if anyone else wants to.
Oh, I just closed the window. I didn't think it was going to minimize like that. Sorry. I tried to hide the window that I was sharing, and then when I minimize it, it closed it. Okay, there we go.
All right, I'm in.
All right, we'll give other people this time I'll be more patient. I'll do a better job of wait time to give others a chance to join in this collaborative feedback session, though it certainly could be a single activity or an activity done by 1 person.
So if you have any questions about how to join, it might still be new to some people, feel free to enter that question in the questions tab. Otherwise, we'll...
Yeah, on the Google Plus event page, I'll type something here. over here.
Maybe we'll add the join code there.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. See, we're getting better at this every time. Last week we didn't even know where to find the questions. This week we know where to put the join code. Eventually we want to create something where it becomes like a short link so that when you click it and you have the app,
Right.
it'll like take you all the way in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because then when we do those like random collaborations, we can randomly just put something on Twitter and then people can join. All right. So Sam, it might be just you and me. Other people might be just kind of enjoying the show so much they don't want to
absorbing so much.
Yeah, because it's so good. Okay, so I'm gonna close this window. I'll write it up here too. O, those are O's. Letter. S 3 M K. Right. So what I was going to show, let me copy this so I have it ready to paste. I'm going to go into my Google Drive this time, where my student Samuel has shared his final project. And let me see. It's a Word doc. Oh, here we go. Final case study, education policy.
Oh yeah.
All right. Very good. So this was actually a Word document saved in my Google Drive. Imagine it was a Roger, it says you are trying. Okay, I'll get back to that screen in a moment. Sam, I'm just going to bring in 2 pages.
Cool.
You're okay with this, by the way, right?
Oh yeah, this is fine. I don't really remember what it was.
Yeah, we'll assume it's good. And on slides 2 and 3 are those pages, and I'm gonna go over to slide 2, but I'll paste the code back here so Roger and anybody else who's connecting back in can attempt to join. So what I'm excited about from a feedback standpoint is that Sam, my student, could provide this paper, and normally I might just give static, marks, traditional markup of an essay, comments in the margin, etc. And that might be okay for like 90% of the things or remarks I might want to make, but there might be things that it's just too difficult to translate, and I could speak about it in a much better way than I could just by trying to squeeze in a short note in the margins, or maybe my tone is important, so I want to make sure you know that I'm being supportive, not critical. So what I can do is I'm going to hit the record button, and I'll use the highlighter here, and maybe I'll set a pen to green. We're not going to use any red pen. We don't want to be intimidating. So policy concern in this case deals with, so Sam, the grammarian in me, policy concerns in this case. So I'm going to suggest that, should this be deal? Probably. Well, this is probably a first draft, right? Yeah. It's first draft.
I was more about the content than the grammar.
Sunnyside is public middle school. I'm going to highlight that, and maybe I'm recording right now. So actually, you know what? There was no reason for those first 45 seconds to be recorded because I wasn't actually talking to you. So well, let me take a step back and rewind. I'm going to rewind. I literally hit rewind. I might go through and actually just make my quick comments or corrections and things that I want to point out. I can even do this thing where I use a shape and make it slightly transparent. Maybe I'll give it a purple and a blue border. And that way I can actually like highlight different sections. And I'm going to use as my mental cue that if I've highlighted this way, it's something I want to talk about. Let me scroll through some more. To what extent is the government responsible? Let's say, let's do this. For protecting, that is illegible. So one thing explain everything that will not do is if you have poor penmanship, it will not improve it. However, you can do what I do, which is zoom in and write really big. And then I can say, this is much better for me because I can write with more deliberate strokes, and my comments are still pretty visible. I mean, that's pretty legible, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And let me just go through. Let's see, maybe over here. So I'm not really, I haven't done any recordings yet. I'm just kind of going through and making note of some stuff. And I'm just going to also do a comment here. Okay, so I've taken a few minutes, looked over this page, put in some general formatting things, self-explanatory. However, now I know, like for Sam, there's a few things I want to point out. Override. Hey, Sam, this is a great first draft. One thing that'll be helpful is to just give a little bit more demographic information about the school. I'm also not sure if, I can't remember for this project if this is a fictional school or a real school, but in either case, providing some more details there will just help frame the rest of the context. And then my other comment I wanted to make over here, it'll be interesting to see what other connections. I know you're quoting this within the paper, but it'll actually be a little bit interesting to know more about the background of this group and where that paper came from.
Great, those are awesome comments.
So that way, it's probably much more comfortable for me to speak about those things than to write about them. And I can ship this 40-second video over to Sam, and instead of him trying to decrypt what some remarks might mean or what the tone is, it's just much more transparent. Let me zoom back out so you can see that code. Anybody who else is still attempting to join here. Yeah, I mean, that's exciting to me.
And I guess for some teachers, they like to be able to explain their thoughts in a kind of a dialogue context, so it doesn't seem so focused on grammatical corrections or something like that, but more the ideas that someone is trying to get across in a paper. And I think that's done very well with the audio recordings and mixed with some of the visuals that Reshan just added.
Yeah, and you might almost more equally interpret that the fact that those things were spoken about are probably of more significance than correcting the grammar things, where if everything was done in a flat, static way, in addition to trying to understand what the symbols and corrections mean, it's hard to know which one has more weight than something else unless there's some really well-designed system. So using media for feedback in this way, I think, has just a lot of potential really to reduce miscommunication and increase understanding, so that both teacher and instructor or peer to peer can just help one another along in a more purposeful way. Let's see, what else can we show you? So let's, those were the three kind of main parts of recording I want to talk about. Let's do some funny stuff. Let me put the join code back up here, so if anybody wants to see, OOS3MK. OOS3. Oh, I hit stop. I didn't mean to do that. I hit the wrong button. I'm starting a new one. New collaboration code is coming.
Cool.
Yeah, I've caused all sorts of trouble here.
So what's nice about those is when he closes the collaboration, anyone who's part of it will still have a copy of that project on their device.
If the host has chosen to.
If the host is allowed to. So that's a privilege that the host can give to the participants if they want them to keep a copy.
Yeah, but it was actually really good in this case because I didn't mean to close it. So that way.
so now if I want it,
yeah. Or if I accidentally got disconnected. All right, let me go back to my screen. Sorry, my phone is texting me that I can now check into my flight for tomorrow. Let me switch back to my, and then we'll wrap up. But let me go back to my screen here. So, all right, here's my new code, CK5QDN. Let me see if Sam T wants to join. Do you want to join us?
Yep, I actually joined the first couple.
So. Yeah.
Come on over.
CK5QDN.
Yeah, we have multiple Sams in the office, so. if you hear that name a lot.
And new CK5QDN. And those people who are watching this as an archive, these collaborative sessions will not be available because they will be closed at that point. But you should follow us on Twitter and you'll get the random collaboration retweet every now and then.
Right, I am in.
Okay, I'm gonna write it up here. I'm gonna write in huge block letters CK5QDN. So the mixed recording mode definitely gives a lot of possibilities for being able to do and redo things. Another thing, if I was trying to, model a complex interaction and record it, but it's just too much to think about for one person, I could have multiple people helping. For example, what if, so I'm going to work on the bottom half here, just giving you a heads up. So I've got an ocean here, and I'm just going to make sure these are all separate objects. Okay, that's a fish.
I'm going to add a floating raft over here.
Okay, very good. And I'm also going to add a bird. Oh, look, somebody else has managed to join in here. Hello. So this will be fun. So I'll assign, so we got a bird, we've got a boat, we got the raft, we got the ocean, and so maybe one of these is a rescue. Your raft looks like
I don't know what it is.
You know what? Like that's okay. It
could be a piece of trash in the ocean.
There we go. So this could be a commentary about the environment and pollution. So how about this? So I want as one person I could hit record, constantly go back and record each element individually. But let's do this. So Sam T, why don't you be the sailboat? Sam G, why don't you be the fish? Oh, let's ungroup the water from the boat, and then let's I'll be the bird, and then who our third guest? If you want to be the I guess that's kind of a bummer to be the random piece of garbage floating. Yeah, Sam G is going to be the garbage floating. He made it. Yeah. It's the styrofoam that was not disposed of properly. So so our third participant, who's not named Sam or Reshan, you can be the little fish, and I'm going to hit record, and we're just going to create this dynamic little scene. Here we go, record. And so I'm the bird. Caw, caw, caw. Oh, there's the fish.
Oh, there's the fish.
Yeah. Yay. And then the fish is going to
eat the.
The bird it's a loon. It dove deep in, and it is now flying away to eat the fish. The end. What a wonderful story. So anyway, we just thought of that on the fly, but you can have this multi person. Oh, I think I just killed the collaboration session because it looks like everyone but you. Yeah, I broke it. You know what? I think we have to address something in the timeline tool.
Oh, for how long you can record?
No. I think when I scrub the timeline, it interrupts the connection. Yeah, so sorry about that. We'll fix that. Oh, Roger, you still are having trouble talking to John. How about this, Roger? When we finish this on Hangout, I'll quit it, and then maybe we'll try to solve that together. The other thing you can do is check to see if your version of the app is updated, because I believe you had an early preview copy, and you might want to check for the store version. All right, let me. That was fun. I'm gonna actually share this I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna share it because this is a fun little movie, and we'll call it The End of the Red Fish. And I'm gonna publish it, and I'm very excited about that. I'll copy that link, and we're good. So I'll post that link in a second on the Google Plus page. But yeah, I think that was a good little experiment in collaborative animation, creating a video artifact with multiple people controlling different objects on the slide. And so the other things we looked at were kind of creating instructional content from scratch, working with existing things, and then doing peer feedback. So I think we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. But yeah, I think as Reshan said, we're gonna continue doing these weekly. We've got 6 set for now, but hopefully we'll have more. And if you guys want us to speak about anything in the future, have any questions regarding this session, we'd be happy to answer those after we're done here.
Yeah. Next week what I'll try, because I think there's a way to make it like so the first 10 or something people who connect can actually join and be like join with the video part 2.
Oh, cool.
So we'll do some research and see if we can figure that out. I don't know if you have to be an invited guest or maybe after people connect, we can send them an invitation or something, because that way we can turn it into a bigger dialogue.
But look for upgrades each week.
Yeah. Yeah. Each week we'll be less bad at this. Yeah. All right. So thanks very much. Our next topic is going to be about creating like activity templates. So as a instructor, teacher, leader of learning, how you can either create your own visual materials, pull open source clip art, things like that, and kind of create pre-designed templates that you could share on Discover or on your LMS that students with the app could pull down and interact with, so that instead of starting at a blank slate, you're starting with pre-existing materials that are carefully thoughtfully designed by the teacher.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you very much.
Next
Thanks
week.
for everyone for joining.